Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus. Today we're in Exodus chapter 18, and we're going to look at the event of a family reunion. Now, you will recall that the Israelites are journeying across the desert. They're on the way to Mount Sinai. And this family reunion occurs as the last event in the desert before they reach the mountain Sinai. We find Moses is reunited with Jethro, his father-in-law, with his wife Zipporah, and with his 2 sons. Let's begin to read in verse 1. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, the father-in-law of Moses, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for his people, and how the Lord had brought them out of Egypt. Now Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, and his father-in-law Jethro received her and the 2 sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, I have become an alien in a foreign land. The other son was named Eliezer, for Moses said, my father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the desert, where he was camped. Jethro sent word to him, I, your father-in-law, am coming to you with your wife and the 2 sons. Now, we don't know exactly when Moses sent Zipporah and the 2 boys back to Jethro. It may have been after they reached Egypt and Moses saw this would be a protracted struggle. It may take a while and there could be some danger. It may have been then that he sent them back to Jethro, to his father-in-law, for safekeeping. But at some point they had returned, and now that the deliverance has occurred, they are in the Exodus travel to Sinai. Jethro brings Zipporah, his daughter, Moses' wife, back to Moses, and of course his 2 sons. It's a great moment of family reunion. We love family reunions, do we not? And this had to be a great moment for Moses. Well, what the scripture focuses on is what Jethro, the father-in-law, had learned. Notice in verse 9. It says, Jethro was delighted to hear about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel and how he rescued them from the hands of the Egyptians. He said, praise be to the Lord, who has rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh. He has rescued the people from the harsh conditions of the Egyptians. Now I know, listen to what Jethro says, now I know that the Lord is greater than all other gods, for he did this to those who treated Israel arrogantly. I love that statement of Jethro. Now we know that Jethro was the priest of Midian. We know that he worshiped the Lord, but he also may have had some belief in other gods. Polytheism, the belief in many gods, was pretty common in the day. And it may be that Jethro, though he knew who the Lord was, yet also saw the existence of other gods. But now he comes to realize a great truth. Now I know, he says, that the Lord is greater than all those other gods. All those other so-called gods the Egyptians worship, that other people worship, the Lord, he is supreme. This may have been a conversion for Jethro to the worship of the only true God. It is truly a great moment, as Moses has demonstrated to the priest of Midian, his father-in-law, that the Lord, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God who delivered Israel from Egypt, he is God alone. So indeed it is a great family reunion, a great moment, and a great conversion as Jethro comes to worship God and God alone, to acknowledge that the Lord, he and he alone is God of all. What a wonderful day it was. Now, there's one more thing that happens in this chapter that's always been of interest to us. Jethro gives Moses some advice. He notices that Moses is judging between the conflicts among all the people. When anyone has a dispute, they come to Moses and he judges and gives them a rendering according to the law of God. And Jethro says, Moses, you can't do this. You've got to delegate the work. And so he advises Moses to exercise better leadership and to appoint some people to be judges under him. You teach them the law, they can administer the smaller cases, and you function sort of like a Supreme Court. And when there's a more difficult case, they can bring that to you. Moses recognizes the wise advice Jethro has given him. And so he appoints others to be judges under him, to be elders, as it were. and to handle the smaller cases and leave the bigger, weightier matters to him. It's just good leadership. Not to try to do everything yourself, but to delegate authority and divide the work among many. And Moses learns that lesson, takes that advice, and puts it to heart. And so we come to the end of chapter 18. As we move into chapter 19, which we will do in our next session, the children of Israel will arrive at Mount Sinai. They will arrive at the place where God will bring them to be a covenant people, where he will give them the law and his word and make them his very own. We've already seen his great salvation. He brought them out of Egypt. And now they're going to come to Mount Sinai, where Moses first encountered God in the burning bush. And they will enter into covenant with God. We'll begin to look at that in our next session. You have a great day today, and I'll see you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus.